There we go. Okay. Yeah, Paul, what's been happening now is before we brought set design and wardrobe forward, we were already doing this automatically. But obviously, I think people have different opinions than AI, which is very fair. So you were probably seeing like different variations of your characters, different wardrobes, different kind of parts of the set, and you were like, what is this? But now you'll be able to edit it before the start frame step. So how it looks like is this. We'll go to this project. This is like a small test project that we uploaded. Not much is in it, but it gives you an idea of what it would look like. So now when you go into your storyboard, which you will see this now, there's shots, wardrobe and set design, and then there's start frames. And I haven't generated the start frames yet for this shot in particular, but you can go through and start to edit. Okay, this is what the narrator's wearing in the scene, which we're going to add an ability just to take the narrator out visually because that's a little confusing. But you can say, okay, I like this character's suit here. I don't. And another scene, they might be wearing something different. And we generate these wardrobe and set design based on what you enter in on the shots page, which I guess a lot of it's automatically generated, but for the parts that you change, it'll influence the wardrobe and set design. So that's how that works. But yeah, any questions folks have that I can help with about anything? Anything related to Creatorwood?
Yeah, so I did have a question, and this is about image generation. So I still have to finalize my characters, but I would like to be able to download them and then upload to my website. I was wondering if there's a way to do that.
There is. Let me show you how. I'll use this as our example project here. If you click on to the character card, open it up. You could do for objects and settings too. Click it and just click Save Image As.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure we'll add a download icon at some point, but you can download it just by right-clicking and clicking Save.
Okay, as simple as that. Okay, thanks.
It's also helpful for, we're still like, we're going to make this even easier, y'all, but if you're like doing a reference image for like start frames and you need to like bring a reference image in and you're like, I like this other start frame, you can always essentially, I'll show you here. If we go to these start frames, I can click in and then I can decide to right click, save image as. And then let's say this character consistency is quite good, but maybe it's not good in shot four and I want to adjust it. I can then reference this and I'll say shot two. And then I'm not going to actually change it because I'm quite happy with how this turned out, but I can then click edit and then upload that shot and add it as a reference image so that it then goes, okay, if the AI kind of didn't do what you wanted with that face, you can now feed it the face you want and be like, hey, like this is the right one. Can you make it look more like this? Which again, I won't make that change, but that's all just right click, save image as, which we will at some point be making that simpler to download, but that's how you can do it for now.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you see me going back and forth between sharing, it's because I have sometimes trouble reading the chat when I'm sharing my screen. The floor is everyone's here. Anyone can ask any questions.
I'd like to ask a question.
Hey, Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm new. This is my first time joining a meeting like this. I would like to do some movies for my church, some
Fun.
period pieces on saints or religious figures. Can you adjust your system to match period like 1,000 years ago or 200 AD or even 500 BC? I mean, can you have them dress that way, talk that way, etc.?
I don't see why not. Yeah. I mean, yes. Let me show you how you would. First of all, what's great to first kind of tweak is when you're uploading a new project. This is where everyone starts in the movie machine. You want to basically upload your story file. And in your case, your story file, I imagine, would include a lot of public domain Christian literature, potentially parts of the Bible. I don't know what you're thinking. What would you upload here if I was to say, Tom, give me your story file?
Yeah, actually, the lives of the saints have been written out over the centuries, and they're usually 10 pages or so of text, some are less. So I would probably upload that as my script and everything, and then maybe adjust it to what I want to say.
So cool. Okay, yeah. So what you would do then is you'd upload a PDF of that, which what's great is all of that IP is in the public domain, right? You'll create a style or choose a style. It depends on what you're going for. I think photorealistic probably sounds like what you want to do, make it look like real life, but you could describe your own custom
Yes.
style. So you could say, hey, this is what I want my style to be. And this will be how we create your images and video, sticking as close as we can to that style. It'll take a few minutes to upload, do its thing of processing. And then what you'll see is boop. Let me see where I want to go. I'll show you this one. There's no right or wrong. There's just a lot of options to show you. So I'll show you a different story this time. When you get here, we digest, in this case, the text from one of the saints' lives, the pages you submit, and then you can create that period piece from the storyboard and characters, settings, and objects that we automatically generate for you. Now, given that the text is contextual to the time and is about the lives of the saints, the AI should pick up on the fact that this is definitely not a futuristic story in nature and should feature clothing, settings, and other things that are of the time. It should do that. But if it doesn't, I'm going to show you how you could. So I'm doing this on one of my stories, so I'm totally cool messing around with it. So let's take any one of these characters. Let's do Natalie's father. First of all, I can change Natalie's father's name to maybe his real name. So I can say this is Jason, for instance, and then I can save his name as Jason. And yo, actually, that's funny. We might be having a bug with that, which is fun when you discover something live. Okay, great. Let me report that then. When you will be able to change the name because we're going to fix that in like the next hour. But regardless of that, you have this image here, and we'll automatically generate what the saints will look like, what the other characters in the period piece will look based on what's in the text. And what you can even do if you want to influence it is again adapt the text. Okay, this is what was written about the saint's life. If you have like certain adaptations you want to make to it, you're welcome to. But even if you don't do that, let's say at this stage you get something that you're happy with, you can click this edit button and we'll basically edit the character to wear anything you want. So in this case, this is Jason. This is definitely not what you'd want Natalie's father to look like if Natalie's father was in 200 BC. What would you do, Tom? How would you edit this character to look more like you're imagining someone in your story would?
They would probably be in more Roman style clothes, probably from the year 200 or 300 AD. How detailed do you have to be?
That's a great question. The answer is more details never hurt past a certain point. If you're detailed and clear is amazing. Detailed and convoluted can get very confusing for it. So if you give it like this is clear to me, but if you start giving like conflicting details, it can get very confused. So what I'm going to do is click this button and see what happens, and we'll see if we like it. And that's essentially we'll see what happens. But you'll be able to do this process for every one of your characters. Okay, this is what it updated it to. What do you think about it, Tom?
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So just from looking at this, you build it frame by frame, just like you would in an actual movie. It's frame by frame built.
Pretty much. Frame by frame in the sense
Mhm.
of shot by shot. What'll end up happening here is you'll, when you upload your story, it automatically generates a storyboard. So it'll generate the storyboard of the saint's life and the progress throughout it. And each storyboard will be broken down into scenes of roughly a minute in length. This has 450 scenes, which sounds super intimidating until you realize this is a full-length novel. And a full-length novel, this is 90,000 words, very easily could become a season of television, depending on how you adapt it. One thing I will note to everyone is we're going to be adding the ability at some point, I can't promise when, but at some point for you to give us a little bit more of your intentions when we're creating a storyboard, because I could adapt this novel into also an hour and a half long movie, right? And that would look different. The storyboard would look different. In this case, we always generate the longest storyboard that you could from your story, or a little bit more verbose. And you can always delete shots. First of all, I can delete an entire scene. Bye-bye scene. Scene is now gone, or it'll load and disappear. Scene 4, we'll see it disappear in a minute here. Let's see, reload, should go away. So you can delete scenes. There we go, it's gone. There's now so the 14 shot scene's gone, if you noticed. I can also move up scenes, right? I can change the location of the scene in my story. And then in a scene itself, I can add shots anytime, delete shots. I can also, of course, change shots. I can change anything about it. So again, we auto-generate all this with AI, but your job, Tom, is really to act as the director here. How do you want to show this story? How do you want to bring this film and bring this saint's life to life on screen? When you're happy with the storyboard at this step, for each scene, you'll proceed to the wardrobe and set design, which at this point, we can generate variants. We'll basically create this wardrobe and set design for you, and then you can adjust it over time based on the setting. And then the last step is the start frames, which takes your storyboard plus the wardrobe and set design and actually gives you the start frames for your story for that scene. And then you can edit those too. And then when you're happy with all of it, you generate the video. And the method to all this madness is to A, give you full control over your film very granularly, and two, allow you, if you want, to be able to make any changes and basically be happier with your film. Because the most expensive part of the process is video generation. And if we can basically save you money by being happier with your input, like if you could be super happy with your input, you're more likely to be happy with your output. It sounds intimidating and like a lot of work, but AI is doing a lot of this for you, and the goal is for you to be acting at like more of a higher level here. Mind you, it still takes plenty of time, but it's also quite fun. So that's how you would do it. And then eventually you'll get your scenes and you'll be able to see all the scenes strung together, the video of the saint's life. I don't have a scene right now for this, but I can show you one here so you can see what this little scene looks like. It's a short scene, but I'll show it to you. The audio might come through weird because of Zoom. Gotta love it, but we can watch this short, brief little scene here. Oh, let's go back. Nah, dang. Okay. The editor right now, I'm sure y'all have noticed, is pretty buggy.
I'm done.
Yeah, okay. The editor's pretty buggy right now. We're working on fixing it. So if anyone's had issues in the editor, know that we are fixing it, and there's a whole new editor coming out in the next couple days here. But yeah, that's probably a very long-winded answer, Tom. Any questions that come to mind after all that information?
Yeah, is there a specific length the movie has to be under? Is there a max length movie? You can't make a 10-hour movie, I'm assuming. Or maybe you could, I don't know.
Yeah, either or. I've seen people create clips as short as like a 45-second trailer, which let me actually have that trailer on my computer right now. So this is a trailer that someone created that was 45 seconds using the movie machine. And yeah, you could create something 10 hours long. It'll take you a lot more than 10 hours to do it, but you can definitely do it. This is a trailer someone generated. What's great about this trailer, I did download this in preparation for this, is the people I'm sure noticed that if I share a tab online, Zoom's terrible with the audio, but if I share a downloaded file, Zoom is actually like pretty good. So let's watch this trailer together. Oh, cool. So I'll play you what someone did in 45 seconds. So you could do any length you want. That's the great part. And even if the movie machine gives you 20 scenes, you might only want to produce 3 of them, or you might want to produce 10 of them, but produce only certain shots in it. It is completely up to you. But this is what a short little trailer looks like. This is missing things like the text on screen. The movie machine doesn't do that right now, but you could then take this and bring it into CapCut and put the text on screen to describe the story. This is a man with a book trailer, so this is a book. But it's just the vibe of the book. And that took one click. When he finally got happy with his start frames, that was one click. Now, I should mention there was still some editing involved. We clipped some of those clips. They were trimmed a little bit. So it was like about 60 seconds of footage trimmed down to 48. And there was a few transitions that were manually added in that AI will be able to do on our platform in the future. But if anyone gets to the point they get a bunch of clips and are wondering what to do with it, reach out to our team. We've just been editing stuff for fun for people. So it helps us actually understand what you want in editing, because then we basically are adding new features to the editor as we go based on what you want us to add, like edit for your film. So you could treat us like real human AI for now, which we know is it's not the most scalable thing, but it's good to be able to give that to y'all in the early days. That's what we did for him is he was like, "Oh my God, I'm really happy with my trailer, but I don't know how to edit. And your editor doesn't seem to be working that way right now. So what do I do?" And we're just like, "We'll do it for you." And then that was what he got. But all that footage was generated from one click. All that music was one click. Mind you, a 10-hour movie will be a lot more than one click. You'll probably have hundreds of clicks of hundreds of scenes to get to 10 hours. But that's like an example of what one scene is. In his case, that was a trailer.
I don't plan to make a 10-hour movie, but I just thought of a number there. What's the intellectual property? Does your company own it after it's in here, or is it still the ownership of the person who makes it?
Absolutely. It's your ownership. You have full rights to it. We don't take any rights to it. I will say with a massive caveat in that AI laws around AI and copyright can change. So in the US right now, as long as the humans worked in the process of editing and in the process of creation, which you are using the movie machine, then that human owns the copyright. Mind you, things can change, but it seems that right now, those it's certainly laws seem like they're going to remain, at least in the US, in favor of folks creating AI content. And no matter what, we certainly don't have any plans and never will take any rights to content on our platform. It's really not our business model. We're here to try and give storytellers like you and people with a vision control.
Who has access to the videos? Is it proprietary just to me if I make them, or because I see you have a lot of videos there from other people, so who has access once I make something?
Just you. If you want to share it with us, many folks share it with us so that our support team can help them. Then anyone who you share it with will. But it's just you. It's just you and whoever you share it with.
Hey, Michael, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is it every scene, let's say you have a script and let's say there's 10 scenes. So then to generate each scene costs 200 points. Is that correct?
It's on a per minute basis. So per minute is 200 coins. Scenes tend to average out to be a minute long, but that can vary. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering. I thought it was, if you rented the whole thing, it would be one cost. But I see you do one scene and generate the scene into video and then it costs 200 coins, it seems, just from what I'm seeing online here.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably because your scenes are a minute long. That makes sense. So then per scene, each one would be for every minute, essentially, it's 200 coins. So if your scenes are a minute long, that's it. But you can change, and this is important because this can actually save y'all some money and make a better film, which is two very nice combos. So what you can do here, I'm just going to share my screen, is we auto basically create how long your shots need to be, or should be, excuse me. You can change the length, and that will change the pricing of your scene. So I can go in here. This shot's 4 seconds long. I could go and make it 8 seconds long. That means I'm going to pay more. Or I can, I guess, move it back to 4 seconds, which means I'm paying the same price. But if you have a shot that's 6 seconds long, that actually should be 4 seconds long, you can basically every second you save is more than a few pennies. So that'll really add up over time. And we encourage you to do that. Our system is just doing the best it can to kind of project those lengths. Now, 4, 6, and 8 seconds is what we can do right now. We hope to enable more shot duration types over time, but for now it's 4, 6, and 8.
What if
So
you're
I
seeing,
had a question about the scene itself.
Rasana, maybe, but Paul, do you have anything further than
Oh,
that
my
back there?
apologies.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
No,
just
you're
wanted
good. You're
to,
good.
so if a scene is shorter than a minute, then it's less than 200 coins.
Absolutely. Yep. It's per second. I'm just doing math in my head. It's essentially 30 per every single second, it's just over 3 coins. It's like 3.33 coins, right? Obviously, you can't generate shots in 1 second increments, so that's not totally a thing. But yeah, it exactly. So you can cut costs that way, and also like deleting shots too. If you don't want a shot filmed, don't film it. It's going to cut down that cost. Essentially, everything is about like how do we save you costs on like video generation by ultimately getting video that you're happy with and not generating any more video than you need.
Great, thanks, Michael.
Of course, Paul. Versana, of course.
So I had actually three different questions. Okay, instead of deleting it, can you save the scene for future use? Maybe you just want to do a book trailer and
Yeah.
might want to do something else later on.
This is a great question. We're in beta, so I hate like having to give this answer, but it's the accurate answer. Right now, you delete a scene, it's gone, it's deleted. We're going to be adding the ability to archive scenes and archive shots so that they just disappear from view, but you can still bring them back very easily. I have a feeling that's what everyone's going to do, and I'd also encourage that. So archiving will come out soon. Can't give an exact timeline, but I'm comfortable saying before the end of October. Then you'll be able to just archive and you'll be good.
Okay. And so my second question is in the scene that you shown before this, the man is running from the helicopter. And so what if you think he's running too slowly to speed it up? So I come at this with zero experience. I have no experience editing. So maybe it's a trivial question. I don't know.
No, that's certainly not a trivial question. That's a great question. And there's two things. One is what you can do before the shot's filmed, which I always try and give you that advice because like when you if you're not happy with your shot, we can make some changes in post without spending money. But if you want to take a new shot, it's going to cost that amount again. It's not going to take $20 for a whole scene, but so right here, it says the action. What I make sure to do is if you have this instinct that you want the person running fast away from the helicopter, not in like slow-mo, I would say that. Describe the action in detail so that the action's more likely to show up in the shot how you want. I want to be clear in that AI doesn't always do what you want to do. Even if you give it the same order twice, it's going to come up with two different responses, which then comes to my second point, which is if you are happy with your story, you honestly just don't get a shot that lines up with it. The next thing to do is to regenerate that shot and only that shot, not the full scene. Our goal is you're happy with 80 to 90% of your shots first time around, and that maybe you're regenerating 20% of the time and not regenerating all the time. And what that looks like is for that shot where he's running away from the helicopter in our editor, which is a little janky right now. So think like we hired someone on our team this week just to work on this. Think like early next week we'll probably have a new version out where you'll just click on that video that you're not happy with. You'll just click on that. And then you'll type in what you want to change about it, and AI will generate a new version of it, essentially. Now, it's going to cost the same that it would, unfortunately, to generate that video originally. We're working on ways to bring down if it's like only small changes, but unfortunately, right now, it's like it re-renders the video from the ground up, and it's essentially the same expense. So that's how it works, and you can make any changes there. So a lot of this is AI native editing anyways, which is fun, but it's a new skill for everyone too. So you're not behind Rosanna. No one's really been able to look at a clip and easily speed it up. The other thing you could do is if there's one other option you could do in that case, which is you could change the speed of the clip. If you're okay with if you just want the character to move faster, then you'd have to do with AI. But if you're okay with the whole clip moving faster, like this whole clip's moving slow, like I want the propeller spinning faster, I want the helicopter moving faster, I want the whole scene moving faster, then you could just speed up the clip, right? And that doesn't use AI. That's a totally free thing that just makes the frame rate faster, essentially. So it speeds it up. And then you could just adjust the audio to match so that the audio is not spanning as much as it is. This sounds maybe complicated, but it's actually not. You can really do it. And we can definitely help you when the time comes if things like this happen. We can help you use the editor and learn it so you can make these tweaks. That's what I'd say.
And when you talk about CapCut, would we have to go off platform and get CapCut and do the
Right now, it's probably the best idea. If you were to
okay.
generate a scene today, the editor, as I've mentioned, is not in the best shape, but we just had some issues with it in beta and we've been completely rebuilding it from the ground up. So The new editor should be live in a couple days, and our goal is then basically to, I think there's going to be need for like folks with like extensive filmmaking background, folks who want to do their own color grading, like that they're going to still use software like DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro. And we're going to allow you to export the XML file so that you can have, which if that's, I know Rasana, I might be speaking like a completely different language right now, which is okay. But for folks here who have that filmmaking background, you'll be able to bring that file so you have all the audio tracks broken down and the video tracks broken down into wherever your editing suite is. So I think for a lot of folks, you will still want to use another editing suite just because A, you're used to it and they're really powerful. But for folks like you, Rasana, who are like in a great way, like AI is what's opening up this opportunity for you to become a filmmaker. I think we want to build like a very easy to use, simple yet powerful editor. And with these like core tools you might need, like transitions, right? And like these other features that on day one, as we roll out the new version of the editor, we're not going to have it fully built out. What I would say is come to our team, tell us what you're going through, and we're very happy to help either A, direct you to a free version of a software that you don't have to pay for that can accomplish that goal, or B, we're happy to just do it for you because it's actually a good learning experience for our team. Like our support learns by doing it, and then we also learn by understanding what you want so we can then build that into the platform. So the long story short is in your case, Rasana, I don't think you would need to go to another editor immediately. We hope
Mhm.
that Creatorwood can at least be something you can play around with at first. I also don't think you need to necessarily pay for an editor when something like DaVinci Resolve's free and very powerful. If this ends up being something you get really good at and editing's a skill that you like really dive deep into, I think you'll definitely see the value in a tool like Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro in some instances, or even After Effects. Like these are great, powerful software, but I don't think that's something you're necessarily gonna need to do right now. And I still think you'll come up with great films without that. Like, mind you, every little extra tool can help, but to use a self-publishing analogy, because I know you come from self-publishing, it's you don't need like this super fancy font and interior formatting. Like Vellum can get you a good way there. Now, obviously, getting that like awesome interior formatter and custom font and custom illustration of the interior book is like going to be prettier. But Vellum is so simple and still very powerful. So I would view like what we're trying to do a little bit like Vellum. I think that analogy will work for you. I don't know if it'll work for
Mhm.
us here. And you're always welcome to go the Adobe Premiere, or the analogy would be like custom interior book design approach if you want to.
Got it. I did have another question.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm sure sort of thinking similar things. Like editing's a big thing. So I'm sure people have been thinking.
So in the first example that you showed us, there's this guy Jason, and maybe I have a character Sean, and I think that he works better as Sean. If I rename the characters, does the AI recognize it, or do I need to do something else?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me describe how this works, and I'll show you rather than just tell you. So right now, and this is actually a nice way to do it on because it's so short that it's like digestible rather than having like 100 characters, like what's going on. So we have three characters here, right? We have Kelly, Danielle, and Wilburn. If I was to go change Danielle right now and change her image, change her name, and make her Kelly, and swap her out with Kelly and then make Kelly Danielle, what that's going to do is take every spot that Danielle was in the storyboard and make it Kelly. And
Okay.
every spot that Kelly was in the storyboard, this Danielle will become Kelly, right? You don't want that. You want Danielle to look like Kelly. You don't want Danielle to become Kelly, right? Because if all of Danielle's shots are replaced by Kelly, then you're not, or sorry, Danielle will be replaced looking like Kelly, but now someone looking like Kelly is going to be doing Danielle's shots. It's not that's not how you want to go about it. What you would want to do in this case is just copy, save this image, right? Be like, okay, this is Kelly. Cool. So I have Kelly here. I'm happy with her. But I'm like, I actually want Kelly to be Danielle. So
Hey,
instead
who's
of
here?
their names,
Oh, Ethan.
what I'll do is go to Danielle now. I'll also save an image of her. So Danielle. And then what I'll do here is Come on. There we go. Nice. So I saved both these images. So what I'm now going to do is we've agreed that we like Kelly, how she looks, but we actually want Kelly to be Danielle. Likewise, we like how Danielle looks. We actually want Danielle to be Kelly. And instead of changing the names, which is going to confuse the storyboard, and then I'm going to have to make a bunch of changes in the storyboard, I'm just going to change the images. So I'll go here and I'll upload an image. And instead of uploading a random image, I'm going to upload the image of Kelly.
As the reference image.
I'm actually just going to upload it as the full image. I could do a reference image. I'm just going to upload the full thing. So
Okay.
here we have Kelly. Now, this is going to get very meta. Kelly is Kelly. Kelly is now Danielle. So we have two of the same, but this is easy to change because we already saved the old version of Danielle. So all I need to do is upload image, take who was Danielle, now Danielle is Kelly, and all of a sudden, boop, we've swapped our characters.
Okay.
So this is
This
Kelly.
this will work for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I should let y'all into this. We just started a Discord. I'm going to launch it more widely tomorrow. But it's a Discord for Creatorwood creators to hang out in. And you may have noticed next week we have an event calendar now where, and by the way, there's no pressure to show up to all of this. You can, but I totally get if you're like, one office hours is enough for me. But I think there's been a lot of demand for people to hang out, make movies together. So we're hosting more of these sessions. And I think now, like, you could treat them if you want to as like co-working sessions and work on your shows or films together with folks. We have 5 events next week at various different times. We have 3 introductory, 2 advanced. I'm running the advanced ones. Maggie is going to be doing our introductory ones. And yeah, so you can show up to any of it. And we're going to keep this link. It's a good link to save. We're going to keep this link updated as we do more office hours educational stuff. I think we're hitting next week hard as like a test. And then I'm actually going to be away for a few days the following week, which I guess the team could still run it. But I think we're going to take a week to like assess, and then we'll get into more of a regular schedule, which we'll let y'all know what we decide. But we're just experimenting next week, and we are excited to do it. And the Discord too. So the Discord's there. Just ultimately, it's good to connect with other people doing this, and there's a lot to learn from each other.
Could I ask a couple more questions?
Tom, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I have a film from a newscast or something that I want to add into a video. Can I do that in here? Can I add live film into the AI?
So great question. In the new version of the editor, you're going to be able to add in your own media. So let's say AI generates 8 shots for you, and you want to take that news clip you already have and put it in between those shots, or at the end, or at the beginning, you could. And that will be live in a couple days. Now, in terms of what I'll call video to video, and I'm just kind of giving you where it's all going. Very soon, and I say very soon, I'm not talking days from now, but let's call it 1 to 2 months from now, you'll be able to do video to video. Which when I say video to video, what I mean is you can give me that newscast, that clip, and then use that as a reference video for AI to make a new video based on your request. So you could say, hey, I like this newscast, but make it look like it's like in, I don't know, SpongeBob world. I don't know. That probably wouldn't work because of copyright. Just say make it animated. Then it could do it. Mind you, that's going to be coming a little bit later, but the uploading your own clips is possible pretty much the next couple days. By the time you need it, it'll probably be there.
And
Jacqueline, I noticed you unmuted. Do you have a question? I'm gonna guess not. Oh, you do. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm sorry. How are you? No, I'm just getting used to everything, but this looks pretty straightforward. I like the fact that it's easy to create and use and change things around. And I like the fact that you can put in descriptors. You have the opportunity to put in a lot of descriptors to get exactly what you want. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot.
I'm excited. It's grateful to have you here. It's early days for us. I think we really view this as now being able to create like a new way of making films together. That's fun and that is
Yeah,
more accessible, but also really powerful. So I'm glad that you see that.
yeah.
I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you very much. Oh, I wanted to find, is there possibly a demo product we can put our, just get hands-on taste with? Is there a demo product we can download, or
Like a demo
we have to
project.
purchase
Yeah, I
product? Like a little working demo, just so I can tinker with it a bit.
sure. I'll just share with you one of my projects for now, and you're welcome to do what you want with it. What is your email? Can you put it in the
J
chat?
Germany.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
I put
J.
it in the
Yeah,
chat.
just put it in the chat and then I'll copy and paste it in.
Okay.
And then you'll have it shared with
All
you
right.
and you can mess around with it, do whatever you want. Mind you, the story probably won't make much sense to you because you don't know the story, but at least you'll be able to see
No,
what's possible. And you have my full permission
yeah,
to like with it.
I'm a tinkerer. I like to put my hands on things before I can just jump in and purchase and things like that. So,
100%. I'm here for it. I'm similar and makes total sense. We're gonna write that down too.
okay.
I think we can roll out a demo project a little bit more formally. I think it's a really good,
Okay.
but you have
Yeah,
that
I
for
mean,
now.
you don't have to do the whole, it doesn't, I mean, it could just work to a certain extent. Nobody's trying to get anything for free, but just a limited, just so you could do maybe one little quick
Yeah, no, no,
project just to see how things
I love
materialize.
it. I think it's also fun to be thrown right into seeing what you'll get and be like, okay, like this is what it'll look
Yeah,
like, obviously with my
yeah,
story. So I like that a lot. We can
right.
definitely do that more formally. But for now, you basically have a demo project. Yeah, just put your
Okay,
email in the chat. And when you put your email in, I'll
okay,
share. And that
Michael?
goes for anyone. Anyone here
okay.
can put their email in, I'll just share it with them if they want. I mean, it can't
Mm,
hurt.
Michael?
all
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi, it's Deborah. I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about animation.
Sure. What do you want to know about animation? I know it's great. I think animation with AI is actually maybe it's one of its stronger points right now. I say that only because the sort of bar for like consistency, the bar for like really good physics and all these things that AI is really good at but not perfect at are like a little bit lower than animation. So I think animation's like really suited to do well with AI right now. Tell me more what you're thinking of doing with animation.
I have 10 children's books that I want to animate, and they're not a lot of word count, but sufficient, say about 1,200 words a piece.
Nice.
And yeah, and I
Yeah,
just
I think
want,
that's gonna be awesome. The children's market and animations are really good. Jacqueline, one thing I need you to do is create a free account at creatorwood.tv for me to be able to share it with you. I don't think you have an account under that email. I just tried.
Okay.
No rush though, but let me know when you,
No, do you, where can I get the, can I create it from one of the emails that I got from you?
if you just go to creatorwood.tv and you could just get started
Uh-huh.
there, you'll be
Oh,
good.
okay.
Creatorwood.
Yeah, she brought up a good point. I'm an author, and my first book just came out in September, and I have another one coming out in October. This month, rather, my second book.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm thinking little stories may be a good application as well, just to create like little, not really a pod, wouldn't call them podcasts, but little like story trailers and things like that that I
Yeah,
can throw up on the website.
yeah.
Sounds
I
good.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I love it. Yeah. Sign up for
Juices
an
are
account and
flowing
I'll
now.
share it. I'll share it with you.
Okay.
And I know you were saying, by the way, your name is showing up as Deborah User right now, but it's spelled, is it Deborah? Because I feel like we've talked over email. I'm like trying to be
yeah,
like,
we did.
okay,
It's
cool, cool. Yeah, that's
RRA.
good. Yeah. Okay. I remember you. This is awesome. Because I'm like, I think I am like, you feel too familiar. Okay, so you're looking to do children's stories. I'll tell you the only thing to look out for it with it. And it's just to make you aware. The imagery is going to be really good, I think. I can stand by that very confidently. I think you'll be really pleased with the animation. The only thing that I'd say is pretty like not as good as it could be right now with animation, in particular children's animation, is essentially the voices of children themselves. The reason for that is the AI has not been trained much on children's voices for privacy and protection reasons. And I think over time it'll get better. But what I would recommend is one of two things. One is you might actually be happy with the children's voices. I'm just trying to give you a warning so that you know what to expect. You can tweak around with it a little bit, and we can always help you tinker and try and get those voices in a good place. If you still can't, there's another solution, which is we're going to be rolling out soon in the next 2 weeks speech cloning or voice cloning. So if you have children's voices anywhere else that you can get access to, if you have children, if you have nieces or nephews, or just friends with kids, anyone that has that child's voice, you can actually use their voice and clone it in your show. And as long as you have their permission, first of all, that's so cool. And second of all, that'll work really well. But what's funny is like generating from the ground up with text, it just tends to do not the best job at with children's voices in particular. I hope your results are different from what we found in testing, but that is what we found.
Okay. I'm anxious.
It's interesting. It's always like you roll the dice with it. It's like, what's going to happen? Because it's generative. No one knows. Tom, I believe you also had more questions. So I want
Yeah,
to bring it.
one quick question, because we've got about 10 minutes left before 6. Can you go over the pricing a little bit?
Yeah,
I read a little bit about it, but just go over it.
Yeah, let me pull out our pricing calculator, which is there. So you can check out and get an estimate of your project. But essentially, like Creatorwood is like a pay per use model, meaning you only pay for what you generate, for what you use the software for. If you use it only a little bit and don't like it, you're not going to pay a ton. If you use it a ton, you'll probably end up paying a lot, but hopefully that means you like what you're getting. Now, when it comes to the actual payment, there's really 3 steps that you pay for. First is story processing. This is when you upload a story into Creatorwood. When we process it, we use that to create all your characters, settings, and your entire storyboard for your film. Now, that is $1 per 1,000 words for novels and $5 per 1,000 words for scripts, not counting story Bibles, excluding the story Bible. Essentially, you're looking at for a full-length novel of 100,000 words or a full-length script for a feature, you're looking at about $100 to process and then get what effectively will be thousands of shots planned out for you, at minimum 1,000, but it's usually 2,000 plus, and a good first draft on your characters, their voices, and etc. The next step you pay for is everything between now and video generation. So those are essentially edits you make with AI to characters, their voices, start frames, and variants. That's 1 coin per edit or 1 coin per new generation. For a movie of, let's say a movie's going to have something like 10, like 1,000 shots finished in it, 1,000 finished shots. I'd expect that expense for a movie to run you maybe at $200 would get you a good way there. The start frames and all this stuff, which sounds like a bit, but the whole point is A, you're getting full control to edit everything to your liking, and two, it's going to save you the money you spend on this and the time you spend on this is going to save you a lot more money in video generation because video generation is the bulk of the expense. If we're going to use like a 90-minute feature as our sort of like benchmark here, to produce 90 minutes of video, it costs exactly $20 per minute. So it's going to be $1,800. So you're spending like a couple $100 in the beginning, but really the bulk of it's video generation. So all of the money you spend up until video generation is how do we make video generation not be like super, make it be good. And then you also pay money when you regenerate at the same rate that you pay when you initially generate. So for every 1 minute of film that you redo, which you won't be redoing a minute of film at a time, it'll probably be like a few seconds here, a few seconds there, you'll pay an additional $20. So our target, if we pull up this pricing calculator, I believe the target for a 90-minute film comes in just under $3,000. It should be like 2,700 with regenerations, with editing and ingest, all of that. Mind you, Creatorwood is a pay-per-use tool, so if you use it a lot and do a lot of regenerations, you could feasibly spend more than that. But I really recommend people budgeting strict, almost like adapting your film to meet your budget in a sense. And that should give you an expectation how far you can go. So if you're making something that's 10 minutes long, for instance, you're looking at like just using this calculator here, you're looking at something like that's 10 minutes long, definitely like under $500 is going to get you really far. You maybe could get away with $400 too at that 5 minute length. Sorry, that 10-minute length. So it depends on how much you're doing uh, in terms of the length, but that's how it works.
I just want to say $3,000 sounds like a lot of money, but being a film producer myself, $3,000 for a 90-minute feature is an insane amount of savings because even at a low budget feature, you're looking at 150 to 250K for a 90-minute feature like MOW vertical type of thing. So $3,000 for 90 minutes is actually a pretty darn good deal, and you have full control over it. It's actually a pretty good expense, in my opinion.
It's pretty fun. And that even counts like a lot of regenerations. That's you really having full control. If you were to like rip through this thing really quickly, like again, you could get it, you could spend less in a movie, but my whole thing is, yeah, you could theoretically probably pump out a 90-minute movie for maybe $2,300, $2,400. But if you're budgeting for 3,000, it gives you the wiggle room to really get what you want. And I think like it's better to spend the 20% more to like really get what you want rather than be stuck with a lot of things you're not maybe exactly in love with. Like I want you to walk away with something you're proud with. Yeah.
Are you gonna have any time before 6 o'clock to just go over that set design and wardrobe thing that you were talking about, the updates?
Yeah. Can totally do that. Sure. Let's do it. Okay, let me share my screen here. There we go. Pulling it up now. We're making a few updates. I'll run through the updates first and I'll share my screen. So the updates are one, if anyone had any issues with ingest, start frames, or scene generating, a lot of those issues should be fixed. A lot of that was just beta stuff, us working through some things. So if you did run into any issues, those should be fixed. Two is now you can change the name of projects. You can add settings and objects, not just characters. You can delete scenes, reorder scenes, and ton of like little changes like that. But the variance is definitely the biggest step that we updated here. And how that works is for each scene, there is 3 sections. You have your shots, which we automatically produce for you, and you can change and add any at any time. Your wardrobe and set design, and your start frames. So you'll start at step 1 here, which is your shots. Once you adjust your shots and you're happy with them, you're going to go to wardrobe and set design, and we automatically generate this variance based on what's in your shots. Now, if you're not happy with the variance, you go, I don't think he should be wearing a suit in this scene. I don't think it should be daytime in the Oval Office. I don't think the pen should be black. You can then press this button and edit it, right? I can edit this object. I can edit the character. So I can edit what she's wearing and essentially generate that variance and adjust it. And then what we do from here is we use this to form the foundation of your start frame. So you'll click a button and generate. And then you can see here, essentially like this suit, that's what he's wearing right now. This dress, that's what she's wearing. So this is where you'll go and update that so that ultimately you can be happier with your start frames. The goal is make a few changes at the wardrobe level, make less changes at the start frame level, and it just kind of keeps trickling down. Now make a few changes at the start frame level, hopefully make less at the video level. But that's kind of how that 3-step process works. Honestly, I think most of the time, once you work through your characters, most of people's time is going to be spent here, wardrobe and start frames, and being really intentional about it. I think there's a lot to think through. What do you want them wearing in the scene? Like AI comes up with something, but you're probably going to be like, is it not? That's kind of part of the fun. And that's like a quick crash course, but it is like somewhat, hopefully semi-intuitive. We actually thought it was going to be too complicated to share this with people because it was just like an extra step. And we're like, oh, the AI does a good job. It does a good job. And then everyone was like, what's happening? Then we're like, oh, okay, yeah, we have to show. We have to bring this forward. Yeah, that's that.
So in terms of setting, is the AI, do you find like, for me, I'm having a problem with reverse camera angles. So for example, I'm in a classroom, we're looking at the whiteboard, the teacher, and then when I want to do a reverse angle, so we're looking at students, you can see the back of the classroom. And currently the AI is having a problem with distinguishing the front of the classroom from the back of the classroom. So does this new set design update help address that?
It ideally should. That's exactly why we created it. And what I'd love to see is like if it's not helping with that, then we can build onto it to do that. That's exactly what we're trying to accomplish with this. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm going to attend the meetings next week because I'm very interested in this. But if I miss one, is it recorded where I can go somewhere and take a look at
Yeah,
it?
I
if
just
miss it?
recorded this one, so I think we're gonna post them. I don't know if we're gonna post them like public on the YouTube channel. We'll make it unlisted, but you'll have a link to it. So I'll make sure to send a link out to everyone who like RSVP'd, and we'll get this up, I'm sure, next week too. So we'll figure out like a home for all of this, but it'll probably just be on the YouTube channel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, one last question. I'm sure your editor will have some sort of transition between frames, fade in, spin, or something that goes to the next frame.
Excellent question. Right now, we don't easily have the ability to do that, but we're building out the editor bunch. And like honestly, like by end of next week, we might have these transitions in. It's like a super high priority for us. So I can't make an exact promise on a deadline, but I can let you know it's a huge priority for us to get that in. So very soon, Tom. Okay, everyone. Jacqueline, Deborah, Rosanna, Paul, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Hope
you.
everyone
Thank you very
has
much.
a
Thank you,
great
Michael.
day. You'll probably get an email from me in a couple hours, like as we officially roll out the update.
Okay.
Um, so if
And
yeah,
I'll sign up then. This is Jackie.
yeah, great, Jackie. And I'm gonna note down the moment you sign up. I'm gonna have the team check tonight to see if you created your account, and we'll share the project with you right then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much. And you have a good evening and great presentation.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.